Today, we are going to be looking at the amendments to the U.S. Constitution. The first 10 of your amendments are called the Bill of Rights. The First Amendment includes freedom of religion, of speech, of the press, the freedom to assemble, and the freedom to petition your grievances to the government. Now, let's talk about each one of these. Freedom of religion means that the government will not create a national religion or prohibit you from practicing your religion, even if it is different from that of the majority of people in the United States. Okay. Freedom of speech and of the press. Now, these two don't mean that you can just say whatever you want or that newspapers can print whatever they want. It just protects you from the government persecuting you for what you have said. So you can't be arrested for saying something like you don't like the president. Now, if you are making statements that are dangerous to other people or statements that your job interprets as being harmful to your company, you can still potentially lose your job or be arrested. If you are threatening someone or you are saying something that your business does not approve of, does not go with the code of ethics at your school, those are different. The First Amendment only protects you from the national government trying to arrest you for printing something or for speaking out against them. Freedom to assemble. Now, it specifically states the right to peaceably assemble in the Constitution, so gathering in peaceful groups. And then the right to petition your grievances to the government, meaning we have a right to tell the government what it is that we don't like about what they're doing. The Second Amendment is the right to keep and bear arms, so it protects gun ownership. However, there is the debate over whether or not the Second Amendment protects you to own any type of gun you would like, and whether or not the government is allowed to place restrictions on gun ownership. Third Amendment is to prevent the military from living in our homes. So this is the quartering of soldiers. This was done during the American Revolution, where British soldiers were living in people's homes by force. They didn't get asked. They were just told this soldier is going to live here. We did not like that, and so we included it as part of our Constitution to not happen again. The Fourth Amendment, no searches and seizures without probable cause or a warrant. So this one says that police can't just enter your home because they want to. They have to have probable cause, like they have to have a reason that they are coming into your home. And then they also have to have a warrant that states what it is they are searching for. The fifth starts with grand jury indictment for a federal crime, and it includes double jeopardy. So the Fifth Amendment is due process, meaning your right to a trial. And it's based on probable cause. So you need people to have evidence to put you on trial. Okay? Double jeopardy means that you cannot be tried for the same crime twice. Okay. Self-incrimination, and again, due process. So self-incrimination means that when you're testifying, you can plead the fifth. Whereas if you are testifying evidence in someone else's trial, you are not required to say something that could potentially get you into trouble as well. Eminent domain is also covered under the Fifth Amendment. This is the government's right to confiscate private land. They do have to pay people for that land, and they also have to prove that the land is being taken for the public good. Our sixth includes a speedy and public trial and a trial by jury. So you cannot just be locked in jail indefinitely and say, oh yeah, we'll eventually have a trial. You're also going to have a trial by a jury, meaning that a group of your peers is going to hear the evidence and decide whether or not you are guilty. The Sixth Amendment includes the right to know what you're accused of. So when you're arrested, they will tell you what it is that they believe you have done. It also has the right to eyewitnesses, the right to cross-examine eyewitnesses, and the right to legal counsel, meaning the right to have a lawyer. Seventh, trial by jury in civil cases. So civil cases are not where we are trying to decide if someone broke the law, but if someone harmed someone else in a different way. So you do have a right to a trial by jury in these cases. Number 8, no excessive bail, fines, or punishment. It also says no cruel and unusual punishment. So they cannot set really large fines that would be impossible for people to afford. The definition for cruel and unusual punishment has developed over time as different methods were seen as being cruel and unusual to those who were subjected to them. The Ninth Amendment is more rights to people than what the Bill of Rights has already defined. So it's saying that there are rights that people have that are protected, even though they may not be specifically stated in the Constitution. And the last of our amendments in the Bill of Rights is that all powers not given to the national government are reserved for state governments. So the 10th Amendment is talking about the reserved powers and what powers is the states receive. Now, for the rest of our amendments, I am going to go through short descriptions of them. Please make sure you really focus on those 10 amendments at the beginning for the Bill of Rights itself. The 11th, states can't be sued by a resident of any state or by a foreign country or its residents. 12th Amendment is that the president and vice president are voted on separately by the Electoral College, and the vice president must meet the same requirements as the president. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery and involuntary servitude, except as punishment for a crime. So you can be made to work while you are in jail, but you cannot be considered to be another person's property. The 14th Amendment includes due process and equal protection under the law, so states can't discriminate against those who have rights from another state and have moved into their state. The 14th Amendment also helps us define citizenship by saying that you must be born or naturalized in the United States to be considered a U.S. citizen. And all persons are counted for the distribution of House seats. So this is something like our census, where we need to count everyone and see how many House seats each state will receive. The 15th Amendment protects the right to vote for everyone, despite race, color, or previous servitude. So this was put in place to make sure that people of color, that former slaves, were allowed to vote. The 16th Amendment is that Congress can levy a national income tax. And it does not have to be based on the U.S. Census. In the 17th Amendment, people will vote for their senators, and if a vacancy occurs in the Senate, the governor can call a special election in that state. The 18th Amendment made it illegal to make, sell, transport, export, or import alcohol. The 18th Amendment no longer applies. It is repealed by the 21st Amendment. The 19th Amendment gave the right to vote to women. So you cannot be denied the right to vote because of your sex, according to the 19th Amendment. The 20th Amendment says that the first day of a presidential or vice presidential term is January 20th. The first day for Congress, however, is January 3rd. If a president-elect dies, the vice president also will become president. So this was not made specific before, and now under the 20th Amendment, we know who will become president when the president dies. The 21st Amendment, as I said before, was a repeal of the 18th Amendment, so it ended prohibition. The 22nd Amendment limited the president to 2 terms or 10 total years in office. The 23rd Amendment established that Washington, D.C. will have electors in the Electoral College. So this way, the people of the District of Columbia will be included in the vote for presidency. The 24th Amendment outlawed poll taxes, meaning you don't have to pay at the polls to vote. For the 25th Amendment, we received the clarification on presidential succession. If the president dies, the vice president will become president. If the vice presidency is vacant, the president can nominate a new vice president. Also, if the president is incapacitated, he must inform Congress, and the vice president will stand in as president until the president recovers. 26th Amendment established the minimum age to vote at 18. And our final amendment currently, the 27th, congressional pay raise won't go into effect until after the next congressional election.